back to Tell the Truth channel. Please like, share our content, my content on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, and whatever content that y'all go on. I appreciate that very much. So I'm going to say our content. That means me, the Father, the angels, the ancestors, all of us, because this is our content. So next time I come on here, I'm going to say share our content. So this is what I come on to talk to y'all about. Mans and ladies. Now, it's mostly about what the ladies go through. So, mans, y'all need to hear this. Y'all need to hear this. Now, when women's bear babies in the world, because I know ain't nobody talked about this, so I'm going to talk about it. Because ain't nobody talked about it, so I'm going to talk about it. When ladies bear babies in the world, and when God said he was going to make sure our labor be hard, he made sure that the labor was going to be hard. He was not joking when he said that labor was going to be hard. When he did what she did, God stuck to his word and he punished all of us that bear babies and made that labor hard. And he was not playing when he said what he was going to do. He was not playing. So if you go back to the days when they was bearing babies in his days, and the ladies didn't even have medication to take back in them days. Oh no. They had to literally bring them babies out through their loins without any medication. They had to push them babies out without any medication. And they had midwives back then helping them bring the babies in the world. They didn't have doctors back then in the father's days. They didn't have doctors. They had midwives. These women had to come to these women houses and help them bring their babies into the world. But you have midwives now that do that right now today, that help ladies bring their babies into the world, because some ladies wants to have their babies under the water. They want their babies to come out under the water. So you have wife ladies that will bring your baby out like that. And that you don't take medication for. They don't have you to take medication on that when you go to the midwife ladies and ask them to bring the babies into the world. You don't take medication for that. You have to do it the normal way as God bear us to do, to have babies the normal way. So, now, when you go to the doctor, that's a different story. They give you medication, but they only give it to you if you ask for the medication. If you don't ask for the medication, they will give it to you. But if your situation is bad where they have to give you the medication, then you have to take the medication. Order for your life and your baby life to come through the world. For your baby to come through the world and be safe, and you be safe as you bring that baby into the world. So, what I'm saying here, that mans cannot bear babies. They just cannot. God did not give man a vagina to bear babies. Now, he gave him the penis to make babies, but he did not give them the vagina to make babies. So they cannot bear babies. They can make them, but they cannot bring them into the world. Okay? So, mans. If you go back to the days when y'all seen women's back in the father days bear their babies without medication, the fathers was not in there. They couldn't even take the pain of watching their wives bring babies into to the world. Some of them didn't mind want to be in there with their wives when they was having their babies, but the midwife women did not want the fathers in there back in the days because they had to concentrate on helping the mothers come through safely, bringing the babies in, so they couldn't have no interruptions. And see, that's how it is in the hospital. They don't mind you being in there, but they just don't want no interruptions when they helping the mothers bring the babies in to the world. You get what I'm saying here? So what I'm saying, it's not easy bearing babies into the world. It's not. Now, I'm going to call it out on the ladies, the truth of it all. Because I had 4 kids. And when I had my 4 babies, I didn't have to have, well, when I had my twins, and I had to have a C-section to bring my sons in because they was small babies. So I had to have a C-section to bring them in because one of my twins was feet first and the other one was head first. So they had to give me a C-section because one of my twins was, feet first. So I had to have what's the name? What I just said, a C-section. So when I had that, I thought it was going to be bad having that C-section, but it wasn't bad. It wasn't bad. When they cut you, they let me see that. They let me see them cut me and bring my babies out. They let me see that. They did in it, they did in your legs all the way up to where you had a baby at. They did in all of that, so you can't feel the pain. So I done heard a lot of women say that they have felt the pain when they have the C-section. They feel it, but I never felt that when they did that. So when they brought the babies out, and I felt when they brought the babies out, the only time you feel that pain is when it's time for you to walk and that medication wear down. That's when you feel that pain. But while they doing it, you don't feel it. But I heard a lot of women say they do feel it, but I didn't. I felt that pain after I had my C-section and that medication wore down. Then I felt it. But see, you got to look at this. Mans don't feel what we go through. They don't feel all of that. Even if you have them, because now they got these days where they have the mans to put on this thing and make them walk around to feel us carrying the baby. Now, they might feel that, but they're not going through what we going through. That's the point. They're not going through that. And especially when you're having a C-section. Because a C-section, when you having and when you pushing the baby out, your womb is 2 different things. Now, sometimes when you have when you pushing the baby out, sometimes you get cut down there from the baby head. You get cut. So they have to sew you up down there. But when you having a C-section and they have to bring the babies out of your belly, it's a whole different story. A whole different story. But I be hearing these ladies, because when I be in the hospital, because like I said, my twins, I had a C-section. But with my other kids, I did not. And when I had my other kids, they just came completely out. Whoosh! I ain't had no problem. My kids just popped out of there. Whoosh! My 2 girls and my son, my oldest son, just popped on out of there. Boop, with no problem. And you know why they popped on out of there? Because I walked a lot. I did not sit around. I did not sit around. I walked all the way up till it was time for me to bear them babies out of there. I would get up at 8 o'clock in the morning and go out there and walk. Even if I had somebody to walk with me, they will walk with me. And I will walk all the way till I'm tired. and come back in and go to sleep. So I did that all the time when I had my babies. I walked. And every time when I had my babies and I walked all the time, them babies just pushed out with no hesitation. They just came straight on out. I didn't even have to have an epidural. I didn't have to have an epidural. Now, I had an epidural when I had my twins, but I never had an epidural when it came to me bearing my babies out, because I always walked all the time, and that's what I like to do, you know. So a lot of women's, they go to do the exercise and all of that, and the doctors then will tell you the best thing for you to do is to walk when you're pregnant. Now, I'm not saying that the exercise is not better. Oh, they okay. But the best thing is moving your legs. You're walking. Because when you walking and when they open them legs, that baby comes straight out, because you doing something with the bones up in there where where for the baby to come on out. That's helping that down up in there. And when you walking, that push the baby out. And therefore, that help you lose weight even faster. That means you wouldn't have to go out there and buy these belly things to help your belly go down, when you just need to just get on up and walk. And when you do that every single day, because I walked in the winter, because all my babies was born in the winter. And I walked in the winter with my babies. Even though we had them big old bear coats that we used to wear to cover over our head and you zip all the way up to your face. I had that. But you got to understand, even when you pregnant and it's in the winter, you can't take that. You still be hot, because you got a human inside your body, and you got to unzip that thing. You can't walk outside even if it's cold out there. You still got to unzip that, because you can't take the heat. You still feel that heat even when you're pregnant in the winter. You got to bring that thing down. And people be looking at, why is she walking out there with that coat all unzipped? Because you got to understand, we don't feel the cold. We don't feel the cold when we pregnant. We don't feel that cold. Only people that's not pregnant feel the cold. We don't feel that cold when you're pregnant. You don't feel it. We be out there eating ice cream and everything when we pregnant, and people be looking like, it's 0 degrees out here, and this lady out here eating ice cream and snowballs and Slurpees and all that, because we don't feel the cold. It don't bother us. It don't bother us. Them the women that bear the babies in the winter. Now, you have women in the summer cannot deal with babies in the summer when they pregnant, because they can't take the heat. Because the baby be hot inside the body while you're carrying it, and a lot of ladies can't take that hot heat in the summer. That's why they wear them little belly blouses, so they can get that air to come in the winter, in the summer, because they can't take that heat. So they don't just be wearing it just to show their bellies. No, I don't think the ladies be truly want to show their bellies, for people to see their bellies. I think they do that because it's hot and they can't take the heat, because it's a human inside of them. So they have to, feel that air. And they can't feel it if it's covering all of that. If the baby covering all that, they can't feel all that. So they show their bellies. Now, you have some ladies that probably want to show their bellies and let everybody see, like, yeah, I'm pregnant. Yeah, I want you to see I'm pregnant. You see this? You see this belly? Yeah, I'm pregnant. Yeah, I be having sex. Yeah, I want you to see. Yeah, I'm having sex. You have women that do that. And them be the women that don't have no class about themselves. That sit there and expose themselves out there and want women to see that, yeah, I'm having sex. Yeah, I want you to see I'm having sex. You see my belly? Yeah, I'm juicing all the time. You see that? Yeah, you see this, baby. I'm juicing all the time. Okay, we see that. But you ain't got to splur it all out there in the world for everybody to know that you're having sex. Okay, we know that's what life is all about. Is to bring babies in the world. It's not just about having sex. It's about the Father wants you to plenish babies in the world. He wants you to plenish. That's what he wants us to do in the world. Plenish. Bring babies in the world. Not to sit there and splurge that you're pregnant, trying to prove a point to people. you know, people don't care. They don't care. They don't care if you out there juicing. Because they juicing too. So they don't care. But what the point is that, mans, when your woman have babies, you have to be there in the hospital when they bringing them babies in the world. Okay? You got to understand that it's not easy bringing them babies through the world by themselves. They need comfort. They need you to comfort them. They need you to say, I'm here, baby. I'm here right here for you, and I ain't going nowhere. I'm staying right here till that baby come all the way through. And you see mans in the hospital that be there with their woman and their wives when they bear them babies out because they know what they going to go through. They know. So they be there. But when they get home, they need you more when they get home because they can't do it by themselves. It takes a village to raise babies. It takes a village. So it takes two to be there and help raise them babies. And especially when a woman done had a cesarean. She definitely need her man even more and her husband even more when she having a cesarean. Because when she have that cesarean, it's just like her start walking all over again. You don't just get up out the bed and say, oh, I can walk now. That's different when you having a baby out your womb. But when you having a cesarean, you don't get up and walk like that. No, it don't work like that. You got to start walking all over again. But you got to look at it, ladies. The mans understand that, and you can't put that pressure on them. You got to get up and walk. Even if you got to go to the bathroom, get up and walk. Don't depend on the man to help you get up. You got to get up out that bed your own and walk. Now the man is doing his job by what? Giving you your medicine, helping you get up out the bed, but not taking you to the bathroom. You can do that yourself. Because if you sit there and not get up and walk, you making your own self suffer in that bed by not getting up and walking, because you got to make your bones strong all over again to get up and walk. You can't depend on the man to do that for you. You got to do that for yourself. So you putting more pressure on the man when you want him to do everything, when he already taking care of the kids, cooking and cleaning and all that, while you laying in the bed trying to get yourself together. He already doing enough as it is, but you got to get up off your butt and get up and go to that bathroom on your own. You got to bring your own strength back. He can't do that. You got to do it for yourself. So you cannot put the pressure on the man to always help y'all when it comes to the serum. You got to make that move yourself. Now, they already doing what they supposed to do by cooking and cleaning and taking care of the kids and all that. That's a stress on them, but they got to understand, you didn't make them kids by yourself. They helped you bring these babies in the world, so they got to join in and help too. They got to join in and help too. And even when they come home from work and they say, oh, I'm tired, I've been working all day. You got to understand that the women's be tired all day, spending all day with the kids, cooking and cleaning, and dealing with them arguing and fighting and clowning all day long. They dealing with that all day. While you out there working and dealing with the bosses. Thank you, Father. Thank you, Father. And while you out there working and all of that, dealing with your job and all that, with the people at your job and all that, you dealing with all of that, and you forgetting about what your wife going through at home, and then you looking for a hot meal. I can understand that. I can understand that. She's doing the best she can when she's dealing with them kids all day long, and then trying to make sure you be comfortable when you come home. But see, you got mans out here that don't even mind coming home from work and helping their wives and their girlfriends out. And they just get off work and they don't mind cooking. Because you got mans that love cooking. And they don't mind helping. They'll say, okay, babe, I can do this. I know you've been all day doing what you're doing with the kids, so I'll come in and work. I'll come in and cook. Because sometimes man's job don't be that hard. They don't be that hard. Sometimes you got mans just sit up under the desk and, talk to people or whatever they can do on their computer. They ain't doing too much. Then you got mans that doing like the garbage can, emptying garbages and all that stuff, you know, fixing, making, working out there with the, with the buildings and all that, doing all that. Yeah, we understand that. But you got to understand, ladies have a big responsibility too, not just men's. Ladies have big responsibility too. But you got to understand, you got to work together. Because if you want things to work out together, and mans, if you want some loving for your woman, you need to pitch in and help her. And when you do that, she will give you all the love you want. But you got to pitch in and help. You can't just say, oh, I work all day, 24 hours a day, and I be tired and I want some food and stuff. Okay, they understand that. But you got to understand, they work 24 hours a day too by taking care of their families 24 hours a day. Do you think it's easy hearing kids always want to argue and fight and clowning and going through doing things in school, and they got to run back and forth up to the school because they done punched somebody in the face or whatever, and then they got to deal with the baby just whining and crying, and then they got to change booties and all that all 24 hours a day. They got to do all that. Then they got to feed the babies. Then they got to cook. They got to clean the house. They got to do all that. That's a lot of responsibilities on these women that be home taking care of their kids. That's a lot of responsibility. While the man's just out there working, emptying garbages, fixing on buildings, doing stuff like that. Okay. But y'all job is not that hard as women's is. Because some men's just sitting behind the decks. Just sit behind the desk. They ain't working too much. Ladies is doing it all. But y'all got to pitch in and help. Y'all got to pitch in and help. Y'all got to understand it takes two. It takes two to make babies. And it takes two to be there to help your house to be a happy home. Only way for your house to be a happy home, you got to work together. And you got to sit down with each other. Somebody having a problem, you got to take time out and listen to each other's problems. If your husband had a bad day, talk to him and ask him why he had a bad day. If your wife had a bad day, talk to her and ask her about her bad day. If your girlfriend had a bad day, talk to her and ask her about her bad day. If your boyfriend had a bad day, talk to him about his bad day. Talk. That's what keeps a marriage and a relationship together, by communicating and talking and giving mans what they want and mans giving women's what they want. So y'all got to work together. You can't just think about one person. You got to think about both parties, not just one party, both parties. Work together. And when y'all work together, you have a happy home when you work together. You can't just think that one person do more than the other person and the other person do less than the other person. Y'all all do the same for each other. You just got to work together with it. You just got to work together. So when the man say, babe, I want some loving, then the man shouldn't have no problem getting the loving. If he's helping you out at the house, it shouldn't have no problem with him getting some loving. And even if you work and your husband wants some loving, both of y'all work together. Because both of y'all work. He work and you work. And then y'all figure it out how to make sure y'all can make love together and be happy together. Make it work. Both of y'all, one of y'all might say, okay, babe, I'll cook because I know you tired. Or the other one might say, I'll cook because I know you tired. Sometimes y'all might order out. Just like the women that's got kids might just order out. And the husband will say, okay, babe, just order out. I know you done had a hard day, so just order out. We'll eat out. Or we'll go out. And it'll be the same with a man that's working and woman that's working. Okay, babe, just order out or we'll go out. And we'll just take the children out. Y'all working together. That's how that's supposed to be. Work together. And when y'all work together, that's when y'all can conformate together. Y'all be able to give each other what y'all want to give each other. Love. But you got to work together. You can't just think that one person should have more than the other person. No, it should be together. Work together. And when you work together, that's when you have a happy home because y'all is working together. Y'all is helping each other out. That's what makes y'all more closer. And even when it comes to bills, working together, what makes y'all closer. So when one person want to do one thing and the other person want to do the other thing, that's not pushing y'all together. It's pushing y'all far away. But when y'all do it together, that makes y'all more closer because y'all working together. And that's the way it's supposed to be. It can't always be, I want what I want, and you gonna give me what I want, or I'm going out there to get it from somebody else. Look, if that's what you want to do, God give us all free will. He does. And at the end of the day, when you step out on your marriage or your relationship, you think about the consequences that's coming back your way. Because the first time you even think about taking that step to make that move, you think about the consequences behind what you finna do. Because the first time you think about it, and when you do, because God knows, the first time it comes in your head, He know you finna make that move, and that's when your consequence starts. Y'all remember that. Remember that. Regardless of what you do, God is the final say so in your marriages and your relationships. God is the final say so. So if anybody decides to do something to hurt somebody else because they can't get what they want and they want to go out there and do it just to prove a point to their wives or their girlfriends, soon as you prove that point, that's when your what's excuse me. That's when your consequences start. That's when your consequences start, because you already feel it. You already feel it. Soon as you think about it, and God know you thinking about it, He know you finna make that move. And you already know, oh my God, I'm finna do something wrong, but I'm gonna do it anyway. And that's when your consequences start. Because you already know you finna do it. And you already know that you feel the consequences coming. But you do it anyway. Because you want to prove a point. And when you prove that point, you lose everything. You lose everything. Because like I say, God has the final say so in your marriages and your relationships. Whatever which way y'all do, if you hurt somebody else, you're going to get hurt back. What goes around comes around. If that person ain't doing nothing wrong and you figure that person ain't giving you what you want, then y'all talk about it. Sit down and talk about it. And ladies, do not put your children before your husband. Mans, don't get jealous because they put the children before y'all. You sit down and you talk about it. You talk about it. Have some time for your husband and your boyfriends, ladies and mans. Have some time for your husband, your boyfriend, and your girlfriend or whatever. Have some time for each other. Therefore, that's when you will have peace in your house, because you're making time for each other. And nobody would not have to step out on the relationship or the marriages. They wouldn't have to do that because y'all are listening to each other. You are listening. And that's what y'all need to do. Just listen and compromise, and y'all will be okay. That's what I want to talk to y'all about. Thank y'all for listening to me. Jesus love you. Father love you. The Holy Ghost, the angels, the ancestors, and I love y'all. Oh, and one more thing. Ladies, when y'all bear babies, it's not all of that. You don't have to be screaming and hollering, oh, I want that baby out of me. Oh, it's not all about that, ladies. Come on now. It's not all about that. Now, back in the days, the ladies that was bearing babies without medicine, it was a whole different story. A whole different story. But they weren't screaming and going crazy like that. They just pushed the babies out and then it was okay. They cried, but they wasn't going crazy. But you had ladies in there be fronting in that hospital. They be straight fronting. And they won't be all about that. But they just be doing that. Just be trying to prove the point to the man. Just be trying to prove a point to the man. And the whole wide person, everybody in the hospital can hear that whole person or women's screaming and hollering for no reason. And it ain't even about that. And other women's just sitting there just pushing the baby out. They moaning and groaning, yeah. But they pushing the baby out. But they not saying, I want that baby out of me. Get it out of me. it ain't all of that. It ain't all about that. It's not all of that. So that's what I want to talk to y'all about. Thank y'all for listening to me. Jesus love you, Father love you, the Holy Ghost, the angels, the ancestors, and I love y'all. And I will be back to talk to y'all again soon. Y'all have a good day and a blessed day.